All right, hey, what's going on? Matt Newport here, and I got Doug Cundiff sitting here, and it's Thursday night at Autumn Oaks, and Doug's doing the Master Hounds for the, what hunt is this?
It's the dual grand champion hunt.
Okay. Just wanted to sit down with Doug. I'm sure a lot of people already know Doug because he's kind of famous. But Doug's really knowledgeable on rules and things that have to go on at these hunts and all that kind of stuff, and I just wanted to sit down with him and kind of get some tips from a Master Hound standpoint on some, what rules a lot of people come back with that they have questions on and stuff like that. So we was just talking about one of them. I guess what are some common rules that people don't really know that well that come back as questions all the time?
A lot of times is like we had a question a few weeks ago on a strike rule where we had a 3-dog cast and they split the strike points, for which the 100, 75, and 50. So they'd split them up and all went in for 75 strike. Well, one of the two dogs treed and one of them didn't. And they went in, scored the tree, and had to turn loose back on this dog. It had 75 strike. Well, they questioned it when the other two dogs struck. At 50 was the next available position going in, which it wasn't because it was really taken when they split the strike points. So them dogs should have really went back in for 25 strike. But that's some questions like that comes up. And there's a lot of times you got a tree rule, dog split treed and stuff like that. It's pretty well self-explanatory on some of them rules on the tree rule on split tree. Some guys think that if the 5's up, they can still tree their dog in. Well, you don't want to do that because you can tree him in, but you're going to go in for 125. And if he's at that same tree, he's going to get minused. Mm-hmm. Because anytime you tree after the 5, they better be on a split tree. And that's still one of the questions that some people have problems with.
We just had a question come back in here just a second ago about non-hunting judges. When's a situation when you're in a hunt that you absolutely have to come back to the club for a non-hunting judge?
Now you got to come back to the club with to get a non-hunting judge if it gets down to just a 1-dog cast. These guys that come back in here a few minutes ago, they still had 2 guys hunting. One guy scratched for blowing his squaller before the 2 was up. They come back. They didn't have to come back to get a judge. There was still 2 of them. But like for a Master Hound's sake, it kind of makes it easier if they do come back and get it on a 2-dog cast, because we can get them a judge if we can. Don't have to, but if we can, it makes it a lot easier for decisions being made out there if they do come back.
Yeah, it being a 1-to-1 vote.
Yeah. That's like if I'm Master Hounds and they get down to a 2-dog cast, I don't mind them coming. They don't have to, but I don't mind them coming back in and getting it a judge, because it kind of just helps on the decision making.
Yeah. So you're a UKC field rep. That's something that I've always wanted to ask you this question. I never have. So what exactly is a UKC field rep, and what does it take to become a UKC field rep?
Well, you still got to take your Master Hounds license and stuff like that, but usually Alan Gingrich at UKC, he come and asked me if I'd be interested in doing it. It don't really have to take anything special. You just got to be pretty well knowledge of the rules. And a lot of people be respected from a lot of people. Mm-hmm. My dad done it for years, and then when he retired from it, Alan come and asked me to do it. And it's just basically anybody can do it. You just got to be knowledgeable of the rules and pretty well known. With the sport.
Yeah. So I know there's a question that I've come up with a lot of times is dogs coming into a tree. I know we've had this talk before. There's talks about it all the time, and we're just talking about UKC here. Mm-hmm. what are the rules for dogs coming into a tree to another, whether the dog's already treed and they're there when you get there? I know that's one situation. And then if you're at the tree, shining the tree, and another dog comes in, what's the situations on those?
If they come into a tree on off game or something like that, they're fine. But if they're come into a tree, before the judge arrives and they're treeing on off game or something like that, if you're night champion in Grands, you're going to get scratched.
Yeah.
So, and same way with a slick tree. If the dogs come into a slick tree when the judge is there, he's just going to get circled or deleted, whatever comes to him on his strike points. But if they're there before the judge gets there, when we get there and they're already treeing, they're going in for next available position on a slick tree or off game, and they're going to get minused.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't realize that. They just think that, hey, being that dog comes in there, they can be handled. Well, it all depends if the judge is there or how it takes place. A lot of it is scoring, how if the dog's there before the judge arrives or after the judge arrives, but it's pretty well self-explanatory.
Yeah. And I know we've sat down at the Coon Club for hours and hours and hours before discussing rules, and I know there's a lot of them that stick in my head, and they always have, and they always will forever. And it's knowledge that I wish every young person that is getting into this sport and wants to competition hunt, I wish it was stuff that they all knew. That's why I'm wanting to do this here. Something that I know has been talked about 1,000 times. You're going into a tree. You already know where I'm going with this one, probably. You're going into a tree, and the judge tells you to handle your dog, and your dog leaves. What do you do in that situation?
That dog's going to get minused. Because even if that judge tells you to handle your dog, it's your responsibility to handle that dog. If you don't get him handled and you got him treed in, he's going to get minused. So I know a lot of people look at it, and it's been discussed that, hey, the judge told me to handle my dog, so that tree's dead. No, that tree's not officially dead till that dog is tied up and handled. So if he leaves after the judge tells you to handle your dog, it's your responsibility to handle the dog. And if you don't get him handled and you got him treed in, he's getting minused. A lot of that's been a topic for years on stuff like that. Yeah.
Another one that comes to mind is I just had it as you was talking about that. Now I'm gonna lose it, of course.
That happens.
It happens to all of us, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We'll just grab something else here.
I'll tell you something else that goes on a lot that people don't realize, and I'm not saying I agree with it a lot, like dogfight rule. You do not have to see a dogfight to scratch dogs. Okay? It's like a 2-dog cast and you're walking into a tree and you hear a fight. Hey, them dogs can be scratched.
Yeah.
You don't have to see it. It says you try to find the aggressor. If you can't find the aggressor, scratched. Now, if you're in a 4-dog cast, it's kind of a little bit different to try to,
Yeah, but and the way I look at that is a lot of the times, especially this day and age.
Yeah.
All right. Most of the time, this day and age, with the kind of dogs that we're hunting nowadays, them dogs all 4 of them are not going to be on the same tree most of the time.
Not anymore.
So if you're the judge and you're paying attention and there's one dog way over here and one way over there in front of you, and these dogs are 150 yards in front of you, it's pretty common sense. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't put that together.
No.
I think another thing that people don't put together a whole lot is how much gray area that there is in the rules.
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there that can read more into the rules than what's really there.
Yeah.
It's pretty well self-explanatory. Yep. It's right there on the back. It's just like your last weekend at RRQ at Greencastle. Had a question come in. They scratched a guy. It was a 3-dog cast. 2 dogs were struck and treed, and the other dog wasn't struck in. Guy goes in there and he blows his squaller, and they scratched him because they said the 2 minutes, he had to wait his 2 minutes. No, he didn't have to wait his 2 minutes because the third dog wasn't struck in. See, and there's a lot of people that misinterpret that. They think you got to wait 2 minutes every time.
Yeah.
But a dog has got to be struck in and running before, you know, for that 2 minutes to work.
Yeah. And I know there's most of our conversations that we've ever had about rules has always been a gray area situation. I remember now what I was going to ask you a second ago. So what is considered, so let's say we got 3 dogs treed, and this happened to me a couple years ago at the Winter Classic. So you got 3 dogs treed. Before you turn loose, the other guy trees his dog. The other dogs are still on the leads. The other guy thinks that, you know, should get struck. He struck his dog and treed before we got turned loose. The other guy thinks he should get first on that.
No.
So when is everything completely opened up? Because I know this is something that I've had to happen a lot of times.
Every dog, like you said in this situation, you had 3 dogs treed, one still out there running, and the other dog hadn't barked. You go in there and score that tree, and this guy opens a strike and trees his dog. He cannot go in for 100 strike. He's got to go in for 25, being the other 3 have been scored 175 and 50. He's got to go in for a quarter because these other 3 dogs are on a chain, leash locked basically, and not competing for a strike.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted you to say right there.
Yeah, every dog's got to be able to compete for that 100 in order for a dog to go in for it.
So and I know that's something that's came up
a lot,
questions thousands of times across the whole country is, you know, when that dog's handled and they're on a lead, anything that they've had that's taken already. So
another thing that comes up talking about that with that strike rule too, there's a lot of people think, okay, we just took these 3 dogs off this tree and the other 4th dog gets struck and treed. A lot of people think, hey, we can't go to that dog because he's got to tree 5 minutes. There's some people that feel like, hey, that dog, he can tree that dog right away and he can go straight to him.
Yeah.
Because these dogs are really still declared treed, even they're on the leash. They're not really declared not treed until you turn them loose again. So a lot of people want to put the 5 on that single dog after they leave their tree.
Yeah.
And that's not a rule. They can go straight to that dog.
Yeah. And to me, the way I've always understood that is once you tree that dog and you handle that dog, until that dog is off your lead, the way I've always interpreted it is they're still technically treed.
Still considered treed.
Until you turn them dogs loose, they're still technically, according to the rules, treed. So that's something that I've always had an issue with people.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, you get into, and this is something that I'm sure you'll agree with. You've traveled all over the country just like I have. There's different interpretations of these rules in every single corner of this country.
Oh yeah, everybody.
So you get to something like here, like at Autumn Oaks, where people are driving from all over the country coming here. Well, we don't do it like that, and we're at whatever state. Well, this is the rules. So another thing I kind of wanted to talk about is we're here at Autumn Oaks for anybody that's never been to Autumn Oaks. I know you've been coming here and being a master of hounds here for as long as I've known you. Probably way longer than I've known you.
I've been doing it for about 15 years.
It's a great experience.
Yep.
Anybody that's never been here before, we're blessed because we only live 2 hours away.
Exactly.
So it's nice for us, but we travel a big hunt, so across the country and stuff too. And it's this hunt right here. To me, it's just the nostalgia of it. Is ridiculous. I mean, I pulled in here at 4 o'clock today, and it's Thursday. The real hunt doesn't even actually start till tomorrow. And there's campers lined up across every fence, all out there everywhere. There's puppies everywhere. There's dogs tied out everywhere. There's thousands of people in and out all the time. And it is an amazing experience. Even if you come here how many people are here right now that don't even have a dog with them?
Oh, there's a bunch of people out there.
Heck, we got over where I'm camped out, we got 10 people staying over there that didn't even bring a dog with them. I mean, it's just that kind of atmosphere.
And you'd be surprised the people, like some of the old timers. My dad's 82 years old, and he's coming Saturday, Lord willing, bring him here, and he just comes to visit some of the guys. And this is sometimes they come to visit their once a year friends that they don't get to see. You know, it's right here.
And that's the same thing like with what I was just talking about. You know, I got me and the guys that I stay with out here. The same group of us have camped in that same little corner right there for heck, I don't even know. I came into it way after everybody else had already been doing it, and that was, I don't know, 10 years ago or something like that. So there's people that stay here this weekend that this will be the only time I'll see them all year, and it's awesome.
And you even got your own little chef down there.
Yeah, that ain't bad. I don't even have to cook nothing all weekend. So, but it's just, and the amount of people that come in here on Friday and Saturday that just come to walk around and come buy stuff at the vendors. The amount of vendors that's out here is ridiculous. If you need anything,
it's here.
Coon hunting related, it is out here, and it's probably at a good price because it's here at Autumn Oaks. I know a lot of the vendors kind of, you know, like if they got a new light out, they knock a little bit of it off because it's the release at Autumn Oaks. So just that kind of stuff it's awesome to me. My wife and daughter are coming tomorrow. It'll be the first time they've ever been, and I just know that they're both going to be blown away at what it is. So
well, there's a guy here that he's an old Redbone Man, John Sheldon. He's been to every Autumn Oak since they've started it. He's never missed one. So and he's from Illinois.
And that's crazy to think because that was at our club, right?
At one time it was held at Greencastle until
was the first one at Greencastle?
Yeah, the first. It's always been. It was always at Greencastle, and I think they moved it in 1979. Was the last one that was held at Greencastle.
And there's still a plaque from the very first one sitting up the stairs in our coon club. So
and there's a lot of guys that come here to this that remember going to Greencastle. I mean, and it's amazing to hear some of the stories. There's also a lot of guys that come here that don't even competition hunt. Just to visit and just see what it's like. It's an amazing thing.
And that's what the first time I came over here, my cousin Justin brought me over here, and I've always been around hounds. I'm a fourth generation houndsman as myself, and I've always been around them and everything. And I didn't start competition hunting until I started hunting with Justin, and I came over here and like I said a minute ago, we weren't hunting or anything. We just came over here just to go. He told me what it was, and I was like, well, heck yeah, I want to go over and see this. You know, and I pulled in and I was like, man, this is crazy. You know, and I was a young kid, and I think I spent about $1,200 that weekend. I had to buy every single high-tech thing that I never had growing up hunting and stuff. So, I mean, there's opportunities for all kinds of stuff here. And then we ain't even talked about the bench show side of this thing. I mean, it's huge too. If you're one of them people that likes dog shows and stuff like that, I mean, it looks like, you know, Westminster in there. It's
amazing because I can remember going to the Autumn Oak at Greencastle when I was 5 and 6 years old. How much this bench show has changed over the years, and how much it's changed in the last 15 years. I can remember coming to this, and it was like it's still a family vacation for a lot of it, but you never seen very many women involved in this sport, and it's doubled, maybe tripled the size since I was a little kid. The women that's got into the coonhounds.
And it's not just showing either.
No,
it's hunting too. I mean, when I was competition hunting a lot, which I haven't for a while because I haven't had anything to really push. But when I was competition hunting a lot and traveling around and stuff, I'd hunt with women at least, you know, every third week that I went. And I remember when I was younger, that was unheard of. I mean, that didn't happen. That's just like my daughter. She loves it. You know, and there's a lot of women out there that do love it. So I mean, I think that's awesome that's going on. So let's see. So here at Autumn Oaks, so tonight's the dual grand hunt, and then tomorrow they show, right? So there's that, and then if you can come up here on Tuesday, you can come up here and stay all week and do something every single night. There's slam hunts on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They're not here on the grounds, but they're close enough you can drive to them and everything. And then, so this hunt was basically, you know, revolved around the Grand Nights, right?
Yeah,
it always has.
It always has been.
And so they hunt on Friday night, and then they take, how many Grand Nights was there this year?
I don't know for sure on that.
I know it was a pretty good amount.
300 and something like that.
So out of 300 and some dogs, they're going to take the top 16.
Top 16, yeah.
And they'll go back out on Saturday night, and those dogs will go out and hunt against each other, and then the last 4 they'll come back and go out on a late round. Mm-hmm. And that is
to get your national Grand Night champion.
Yeah, that's to get your national Grand Night champion. And I'm telling you, I've been out on one of them before. I've been out on a finals of the world before too. And you want to talk about something cool? I mean, it looks like spaceships 90% of the time from what I've always seen walking through the woods. And it's like going to a golf.
Oh yeah,
like going to the Masters. There's like a gallery walking through the woods and everything. But I mean, it's such a cool experience to be able to see that and everything. Yeah. And I think it's fun just sitting here on Saturday night. So on Saturday night they do a play-by-play, and they put it up on a big projector over in the arena
Center.
over there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how many people are just sitting there in chairs just watching this screen, watching what's going on and everything. So it's just an amazing experience that I think everybody should come to at least once. And I mean, I've been coming for 9 or 10 years now, and it's something that I look forward to every year, just like the Winter Classic and all the big 3 that everybody always talks about to me is, you know, the
Winter Classic,
Autumn Oaks,
and the World
Hunt. And there's other big ones out there too, but I mean, it's just the big mass picture of how cool it is to go to these events is just awesome.
And you meet a lot of good people.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of good people in this sport.
And I've said this before, and some of you guys that watch my stuff before, I compare the Hound community to my military life that I have. Every single one of us, as soon as you see somebody that's a coon hunter,
your friends.
You can go over there and talk to them for 3 hours. Yeah. And you know them forever. It's like your brothers with them. I mean, it's like that. And there's bad eggs.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But it's awesome. You know, I can come here, and I was here for an hour earlier and talk to like 20 people that I ain't seen in, you know, a year or 2 or whatever. So it's just an awesome experience.
Yeah.
So you got any other rules that come to mind?
No. Not that I can think of.
Okay.
I mean, if anybody's got any questions about any of the rules or something like that, let Matt know.
Yeah,
maybe
put them right down here in the comments, and I'll ask Doug, and we'll get them answered for you.
We'll make another one of these sometime.
Heck, Doug only lives 20 minutes from me. We can go hunting one night and talk about him. So.
Yep. Maybe a little cussing involved when we're hunting, but
I can bleep them out.
Okay.
We're trying to be professional here.
Yeah, we're trying to be. It's tough, but I'm trying to be professional.
But all right, well, I think that'll pretty well sum that one up. Nice little short video just about those are hot topics to me that I think a lot of people don't comprehend them.
Yeah.
Especially if you're starting out. If this is something you're starting out, it sucks to be the guy like I was whenever you're starting out. I had a horrible dog.
It happens. You got to start somewhere.
You know, I went and it's like people see that you're a newbie, and it's just, and that's how it happens. I mean, I hate it that it is that way, but you just got to grit your teeth and learn the hard way.
Like my dad always told me, you got to fail before you succeed.
Yeah.
But I also always said this too. If you guys are interested in getting into competition hunts, grab a scorecard, get 3 or 4 of your friends or somebody with a little experience, or just go out there and learn the rules and play around like that. I told a lot of these guys at our club, it's the best thing to have like club hunts and put some of these experienced guys with some of these younger guys, and you can learn that way.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you just got to jump in and go and learn.
Yeah, because I'll tell you right now, I learned more in the beginning of me doing this by me screwing up and it biting you in the butt in the middle of a cast than I ever did by reading the rule book or, you know, any of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So those things, whenever it costs you a cast win, It
You
sticks
learn.
right back there forever.
Yeah.
You never forget it.
And there's always going to be something that comes up. Mm-hmm. I mean, always. And you just got to learn from it.
Yep. And you gotta ask the most important thing to me is when something comes up, ask.
Exactly.
Ask somebody that knows what they're doing, and get somebody that's reputable. I've always went to this guy right here most of the time, but find somebody in your area that knows the rules and is reputable and can teach you that kind of stuff when situations come up.
Exactly. And I tell you, a lot of you experienced hunters, it's judged a lot. Don't be afraid to give some of these kids a scorecard at these local hunts and help them out.
Yep.
I mean, that means a lot to these kids and young hunters, is helping them out. And let them mess up, but you can always help them correct it.
Yep. And that's the thing about, like, over in our area, for instance, there's most of the time on a Friday night, everybody knows everybody.
Exactly.
If I draw out with Doug and 2 other guys, more than likely we've all hunted together before.
Yeah.
So just because I'm the judge on the scorecard doesn't mean that. At local hunts, I've always looked at it like this. We're all there.
We're all together.
We're all together. Everybody has a say in everything. It's not like it's the finals at the World Hunt, and there's one guy that's got the scorecard and everything. That's when you learn. You learn whenever everybody's out there. You ask the questions. You figure out what's going on. So.
And I tell you, a lot of times too, this is something that I always get phone calls on. Is guys will scratch a young kid or some young guy that don't know the rules because, like blowing a squaller, it's a rule. And I agree it's a rule and he should be scratched. But sometimes you can ruin a young kid because he didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying give them a break, but also be realistic with them. Don't ruin it for the kid.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all here to win. We're all here to, we all pay our money to win.
Yeah.
But with somebody that don't know the rules, work with them. I mean, it's not like an RQE or the World Hunt.
Yeah.
If he blows his squaller, I know it's a rule, but work with him.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be surprised the kids that come in it don't even have to be a kid. Somebody new getting in a hunt that didn't know.
Yeah. And that happened. And people get in. That's something that I've always noticed. People get into this at all different areas of their life. I mean, there's guys that I've met that just started coon hunting at 50 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, and they don't know.
Yeah.
So. Don't be a prick about it. Basically.
Exactly. Don't give them a break the first time.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying give these kids or somebody a break every time because you could create a monster.
Yeah, and I don't teach them anything.
Yeah, you're not teaching them nothing. I'd say give them a break the first time. Hey, second time, hey, we've worked with you here. But there's time and place where you need to help somebody new out and help try to build this sport. We need to get kids
and that's
involved.
The thing. We need to, we really need to grow this. We need to look as, with me doing this YouTube channel, I live on social media.
Yeah.
All the time. I'm on my Facebook, my Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff. And the amount of negative talk that we have just towards each other
kills
is
it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Somebody on the outside looking at us, saying, well, these guys are just a bunch of pricks. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Why would I want to do that? So that's something just along the lines of what you just said exactly.
Yeah.
What?
Hey, and don't be afraid like these landowners. They give you permission. Do something nice for them. You could buy them a gift card or something like that. You'd be surprised how far that would get you.
Yeah. Or do something like I just did a couple weeks ago. I had a farmer gave me permission to hunt, and he had a couple trees laying down in his field. I went and cut them up for him.
Yeah.
So simple stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we're wormholing now, getting off the competition hunting stuff.
Yeah. But it's still nice to know some things like this.
Yeah, it is. Little simple stuff, and heck, we could do another whole video just on little courtesy, just whatever stuff. So
exactly.
It's the knowledge that that we just have talked about is something that I wish I would have known 10 years ago.
Because not everybody's. I growed up around it. I mean, I'd been going to these hunts with my dad since I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not everybody has that opportunity to grow with the sport know the rules.
Yeah.
It's just part of it.
So, well, Doug, it looks like you got a cast coming back in right here, so we better wrap this thing up.
All right.
I'm Matt Newport from the Deer Creek Cartel with Mr. Doug Cundiff, and we will talk at you later.